Hello and welcome in this edition of the Sancomb Show. My name is Matt Geifer, the Sports Information Director here with the California Vulcans. And with me after a big, nice road win last night is head coach Dane Sancomb. Coach, always feels better after games to get those W's, especially when you're getting back. At least it was a short trip, but still it was a road trip nonetheless.
Absolutely. Tough place to play. The drive there is the best part of it, about 35, 40 minutes. But a hard-fought win last night. So
it's been a while since we've touched base here. We've had a number of things both going on with ourselves at home and also work here. But let's look back here, starting with IUP. They are basically the barometer for basically the conference and also the region because they've been so good for so long with under Coach Lombardi. But this year was one of those things there. There's been a streak, 21 games going into it, straight losses, but it's one of those, a lot of tight games there you've had to lead. But this one finally stopped that streak, and I'm sure for yourself and for the guys, getting that monkey off the back there by taking down the Crimson Hawks, especially at their place, was definitely something you thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, it was a good win. They haven't lost many games in the last 6 years. They really haven't. They're tremendous program, well coached, great players. So to go there on the road and win was very good for us. It was a ugly game. I think probably their style of game, 21-18 at half. Their defense was really, really good. Our defense was very good as well. But in the second half, I think we were able to move it a little bit, stretch them out a little bit, and get some easier baskets. But really proud of our effort, just our defensive effort the entire game to hold them to what we did. And the defensive field goal percentage was great. And, it just was one of those games, looking at the highlights, there wasn't a lot of easy baskets for us. So it was a good win. And, when you win on the road in the conference, it's great. When you can win on the road there, that's a big deal.
It's one of those things, now they've been so good over the last decade plus, but at home they're almost unbeatable for a number of years because they always have a great crowd there and always a tough environment to play. But that's a game, you said 21-18. Cal shot 7 field goals in the first half, so did IUP. So it's one of those things where it definitely was defensive minded, but in the second half, 41-39 the score. So opened up a little bit there in the second half.
Yeah, I did, and I think it was, I think we pressed a little bit that game. Everybody wanted to win, but I think everybody was trying to just do a little too much on the offensive end. I think when we settled in the game, we started moving it around better, and we got some good looks in the second half. And, it was a good spark. Keith Pallick starting to come into his own. He made some big plays down the stretch for us, scoring inside and out, and, really gave us a good lift off the bench in that game.
Yeah, and Jermaine gets a double-double with 11 and 10. KJ, 16 and 8, and then Donald, 12 points, 4 boards off the bench. Getting a little bit more in the action there this game with IUP.
Yeah, just did a really good job. Donald did, made some nice baskets down the end. Jermaine was just very solid, controlling the glass for us. Made some great passes, as you can see right there. And, Zion and KJ are a big part of what we do. But just really good to see Donald play the way he did that game and really helped us get the win.
And that's one of those things there for IUP. They have the 2 big guys. Porterfield's still around. He's been around and been part of so many winning games. But they have a transfer, Gavin Clark. A lot of points, but also a lot of shots, but really effective on the glass for him, too, for being a guard.
Yeah, he's a tremendous athlete, very quick, explosive. Obviously, Porterfield is one of the best players in Division II, so they're a good combination.
So you go from there, you come back, and you're facing Edinboro, a team with a first-year head coach. Not really any ties really to the PSAC, so it's one of those things there, everything you know about Edinboro, you really saw on film this year, and just in your scout. What did you see initially before the game with the Fighting Scots, what they presented with the new coach?
Yeah, they run some good stuff. They get good movement, they attack, they get good angles, get you moving a little bit defensively where they can, beat you off the dribble. Obviously got a big guy inside that clogs up things and can score with his back to the basket inside. So, I knew it was going to be a tough game. It's just, conference games, late January into February are wars. So they move the ball well. They play hard on defense. They fight through screens. They're very physical. So I thought we did a good job. I thought we played a solid game. I think coming off of a big win on Monday and turn around playing Wednesday is a short prep time for us, and I think our guys responded well.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's got to be really challenging as a coach. It's really the only time all year you play a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday set. So it's definitely got to be a unique schedule in terms of how do you prep for IUP, but also knowing Edinboro within 48 hours you got to face again. And as I said earlier, first year head coach, at least IUP, you know what you're getting because it's the same program, and Porterfield's been there so long. But Edinboro definitely a different dynamic for you this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's like starting from scratch. We keep a folder on all the programs. Obviously, when they get a new coach, it becomes a new folder, and you don't have anything in there to start. So now we have some information. Obviously, we followed them, watched them play a lot this year, but as you coach against people, you get a little bit better idea what their tendencies and so forth, what they do.
Yeah, in the first half, you see here it's a tight ball game, but in the second half, you really clamped down on three-point land. They only shot 2 of 11, and it ended up 6 of 23. And they definitely had the guard, Bernie Blunt, shot a ton from beyond the arc, so you guys really shut them down a little bit in the second half from beyond the arc.
Yeah, he's a big-time scorer in our league, about 20 a game, and, he can get it going from shots. So, we just wanted to contest them. We've been a little bit hot and cold here of late. Sometimes we defend the three exceptionally well, and then other times we struggle. But in the second half of this game, we locked down defensively, kind of took control of the game, and then we kept control of the game for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, it's one of those things. There are 4 guys in double digits. You see a great block there by Bryson in the contest. But Donald White had 17 off the bench, Keith 14 off the bench, and then you're backcourt with KJ and Zion 22 and 15. And again, KJ 8 rebounds, just hustling all over the place.
Yeah, like I said, those 2 guys are very consistent for us and do a lot for us. Obviously, Jermaine and Bryson do so much for us, and getting Keith and Donald back now, I just feel like we're very deep with DJ and Antoine as well, and we just play the right way. You can see these passes, guys running, getting some easy baskets. So I feel good. I feel like we're still learning, just because we've had guys out so much this year, with Keith missing all that time with a broken foot, Donald, with his ankle, and I feel like we're getting everybody together, and I'm hoping we can make a nice run here into February into March.
Yeah, the game there against Edinburgh set up a huge contest there, regionally, nationally, in the conference, in the division, with Gannon and Cal going up there to Erie. You'd seen them once already this year. New coach turning back around, entering that game. Both teams tied for first place in the PSAC West standings, and definitely was an environment, I'm sure, for you being a little different playing at Cathedral Preps High School, because again, Gannon's Gymnasium is under renovation to the historic Hammer Mill Higher Market Center, but I'm sure it was a little different going into Cathedral Preps Gym, seeing the different colors, seeing the Rambler on the logo on the floor, a little different than the night.
Yeah, watching so much film on them and so forth, and then being up in Cathedral Prep in the past with recruiting. It's a good environment. It's a nice gym, beautiful high school gym, great facility. So it was good with a great crowd. I wish we would respond a little bit better, but it was a great atmosphere. We just didn't perform to the level that we needed to.
Yeah, it was one of those things, 2 of the highest scoring teams in the PSAC. Gannon continually leads the country in scoring. 107-98 was the final of the contest there. But you had a lot of balanced scoring. You had 5 guys in double digits. But it's just one of those things. You had a huge run in the second half, but you almost exhausted so much energy to cut that lead back and get it. Gannon made a couple little runs there, like 10-3. 2 of those late in the game there really sealed the game for the.
Yeah, we just felt like they wanted it more than we did, though. I thought defensively we struggled the whole game. They didn't press much. We do a good job with the press, and they just kind of fell back into their half-court defense, and offensively they just attacked what they do. We're off the dribble, and I think they scored 50 points in the paint and 28 from the foul line. It's hard to beat a team when you give up 78 points that are in the lane and from the free throw line. So we got to get better guarding the basketball and, being better help. We need to work on that, and we have been, so hopefully we can get better, at least back to the level that we were doing it. We've been a good defensive team this year. I think we'll continue to. We just did not play to our standard on the defensive end against Gannon.
Antoine had one of those things there, looking at 8 rebounds off the bench. To the 8 on the offensive end. So it's nice to see the freshman really going in there in a big game, getting those clutch rebounds for you guys.
Yeah, and we put Antoine in because he can guard. And that stretch we had a lineup in we normally don't play, but I thought it was our best defensive lineup in that particular game, so I went with it. And he was big for us, played very, very well on the defensive end. Obviously rebounded, he scored the ball, blocked the shot, so he's capable of doing those things, and we need him to do those things.
So you go from gaining a typical up-tempo pace where they do press quite often, but not again on Saturday, to playing a team that plays strictly zone. You know exactly what they're going to do. You've seen them before. The short trip yesterday over to Seton Hill. So you got basically 2 of the biggest contrasts you have there in the league with up-tempo and then also zone. But Seton Hill can also, by playing the zone, they also can shoot the ball and be able to score as evident last night.
Yeah, they played great last night. On the offensive end, they were really, really good. Made it challenging for us. They got some matchups that were in their favor and did a good job exploiting it. And they moved the ball and they shot the ball well. Anytime you make shots, it makes things easier. I wasn't pleased with our defense in the game, but they presented a lot of challenges and they deserve a lot of credit. Offensively, we played exceptionally well against their zone, and our guys were locked in on that end. We moved it well. I think we had 22 assists. We shared it well. We shot it well because we got open looks. And guys just knew what they wanted to do with the ball when they caught it. So very, very happy on that end of it.
I knew you'd like the 22 assists, but the one I can't get over is only 3 turnovers in a game. Is absolutely absurd, but being able to control the ball and dictate getting the shots you want instead of having any random loose balls be going the other way, but only 3 turnovers in the contest. Huge effort there for the guys.
Yeah, our guys, like I said, they were dialed in and just did what we worked on. Made good crisp passes, used ball fakes, met the pass, and just did a great job. I mean, we really played well offensively. Obviously, to score 60 points and a half against them, that's hard to do because they don't give up transition baskets. They make it hard on you. So very happy and pleased with how we played on the offensive end.
Now we're seeing the highlights, and there are a lot of different guys touching the ball, a lot of guys putting the ball in the basket. 6 guys in double digits, all 5 starters. Donald moved back in the starting lineup here for this game, and then Keith's still coming off the bench there, giving you a solid 18 points, even 6 assists. And Bryson Lucas, 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. So the big guys, not just being able to shoot from outside, but getting rebounds and also passing the ball.
Yeah, like Bryson just comes off the top of me. My head is just, I think he was 7 of 8. He was so active in the middle of the zone, made some good passes, got a lot of hockey assists. Like he would make a pass and then somebody else would make a pass. Just did a really good job. Finished around the rim. He, spent a lot of time this week shooting, elbow jump shots. You saw the behind the back pass right there, which was an unbelievable pass. Played really well. Obviously Zion got it going he got it going in the second half. And shot the ball well and did a good job with that. And KJ was KJ, and it's just good to see Keith too, that's the most minutes he played since he's been back with 24. So he's just getting healthier and healthier. So very, very happy with that. Jermaine, another solid game, and Donald, moving him into the lineup. I did a poor job. I got to get DJ out there more, and I got to get Antoine out there more as well. It just was a game that I went with a lineup. We played really well the end of the first half, and I went with that lineup for a long time in the second half, so our substitution pattern was thrown off a little bit.
Yeah, in the second half, you guys shot 63% from the floor and 58% from beyond the arc. You had 8 threes, 5 of those by Zion, a career high. So one of those things, he can shoot the 3, but it's not always his game. But last night, it definitely was his game in the second half.
Yeah, I thought he got it, though, all in the flow of offense. Like the ball was inside, and then we kicked it out, and he was the guy that was open. And he wanted it. He stepped into it and shot it well, and it was great. Getting Zion going. He struggled in the first half offensively. But the little things we talk about, making winning plays, and we need our leaders, and Zion is one of our main leaders on our team. He took 2 charges. He took 1 charge in the second half that was in a crucial part of the game, and those are the winning plays we talk about that you have to make if you want to be a winning basketball team. So it was great to see him make the threes, but also to make those other plays with the charges was great. But very happy to see him get it going in the second half.
Well, that takes a look back at the last couple weeks here. Only a couple weeks left in the regular season. We'll take a quick break here for Coach, and we'll be back to look at the standings and talk about upcoming games here for the Cal Vulcans.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
Come on out to the Convocation Center and support men's and women's basketball for the 2023-2024 season. The Vulcans are looking to put the PSAC on notice this year after both teams are picked towards the top of the preseason conference rankings. There will be 13 men's games and 16 women's games at home. Follow calvulcans.com for any update. All games will be live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC network.
Come out, our team's going to be very exciting. We have a lot of good players. I think we play the game the right way, very up-tempo. I think we're going to be able to score some points. I think our defense is going to be great. Our guys have great energy.
Come to our games. I think once you get here, you'll really like what you see. I think it's exciting. These players put in a ton of time, a ton of effort to put out a good product on the floor. And like I said, I think it's super exciting, and you'll really want to come back.
Hello, welcome back to this edition of the Danny Sancomb Show. My name is Matt Kuiper, the Sports Information Director here for the Cal Vulcans. With me is head coach Danny Sancomb. Coach, we're in the second round of divisional play already. We are getting close to basically Valentine's Day, but it is clearly the crunch time for the PSAC and the PSAC West. Only a couple weeks before regional rankings come out. I'm sure you're not even telling the guys to worry about that yet. Worry about the next game up. And the next one for the Vulcans is Slippery Rock, a team. Cal hasn't lost many games this year, but Slippery Rock's one of those I guarantee you wish you could get back on that one, just how that game went down.
Yeah, they played great against us last time at their place. They defended extremely well. They played very well offensively. They're a very talented basketball team, so we'll be challenged Saturday, and we'll have to be ready to play. And they present a lot of problems just because their length and their athleticism. So we'll have to do a good job making the right basketball plays.
So taking a look at the PSAC West standings here, again, over the weekend there, you see a couple asterisks already. Gannon and Cal have clinched, but again, there's a lot more to play for than just making the PSAC tournament for both programs right now. But again, one game separating those two, IUP back, 1.5 games back right there at 11-4, and then you have Slippery Rock, only 11-10 overall, but they're right there in the thick of it, 9-6 in the divisional play. Merciers with a huge win last night, beating out IUP in double overtime, 8-8, and then Seton Hill 7-9, and you have Clarion, Edinboro, and EPJ, the last 3 spots there. So again, you got to be outside the bottom 3 to make the PSAC tournament, to get to 6. Top 6 make it each division. And the East is actually 4 teams have already clinched. So already at this point in the season, a lot of teams have somewhat spots in there, but a lot in terms of you don't want to just be in the tournament. You want to be the seed in where you want to play, get as many home games as possible. Don't really care about the draw. You just want to be in it and then get those home games.
Brutal. Did you see that? Those teams and their records? Like it's crazy how good our league is and how our side is just brutal. So yeah, I mean, obviously, we have a one-game mentality. We'll continue to do that. But looking ahead, obviously, if you get to the tournament which we're in, you want to play at home and you want to play the least amount of games that you can possibly play. So we're going to keep that mentality and focus everything that we have on Slippery Rock, and then after Slippery Rock, we'll move on to Clarion. But it's just that one-game mentality that we need to have and understand. Anybody in this league can beat anybody, so our mentality's got to be ready to fight and play each and every night.
Yeah, again, looking at through all the stats here this season so far, last night KJ reached the 500-point mark for the season, which is incredible given there's still so much of the regular season left to play. He's the 5th guy since you've been here at Cal to get that 500 mark. It's one of those things, your offense sort of just lends itself to having certain guys balanced scoring, but also KJ's taking a little level this year by upping his scoring average to being one of the tops in the PSAC and also the region.
Yeah, he's a great scorer. I think when you start looking at scoring, and you can say he shoots the ball exceptionally well. He attacks the rim exceptionally well. He can finish mid-range. He has the ability to get to the free throw line, and he's aggressive. So, he's been great all year for us, and just I need him to continue to do that. I think now that we're healthy, there's been a little bit more balance to that, but we need him to make plays and score baskets for us, for sure.
So you get the single season there, but also you have 2 guys who have been around the program since you've arrived day one, Zion Collins and Jermaine Hall. They keep climbing up the all-time scoring list. Jermaine's actually sitting at number 23, about to pass Dana Zychek, who's one of the guys who comes to every single game, basically to convo. But Zion's in the interesting position, being 8th all-time right now. Next on the list is his old running mate, Brent Pegram there. So it's one of those things there. This program wouldn't be where it is right now without those 3 guys being around for 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
Yeah, love those guys. Zion is just a complete player. Obviously the points, you see that. That's remarkable to be 8th and have a chance to continue to move up that list. But what he does defensively, how he, assists, with the ball, he's just a great all-around player and does a lot. And we ask a lot of him on both ends. So very happy for him. He deserves it all, and just has the ability, again, like I mentioned about KJ, Zion has the ability to make shots. He has the ability to score in the mid-range and get to the basket. So he's a problem for our opponents, and he's been great here for his 4 years. Absolutely wonderful.
And then you look at it right there outside those guys, you have KJ this year and last year, and Keith, even though he's hurt this year, 2 guys right there, 900 plus, knocking the door for 1,000. So it just tells you the balanced offense you've been able to have in your time here, and it's just the roles, different guys every night, but everybody gets their touches and gets their chances to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, we're very equal opportunity offensively. Like our 5-out guys are touching the ball. Jermaine, you mentioned him. Like, he's been wonderful. He probably missed 15 games his first season, which would have been, quite a bit more up there. So he's been a tremendous player, great leader in our program, great rebounder, does it all. And then, like you mentioned, Keith, had an awesome freshman year, and then last year was as good as anybody in our conference, and has been battling with injuries, but like is playing now. I just see it, like he's moving better, and it just makes us a better team. So hopefully we can peak here at the right time, but having those, guys scoring over 1,000 points, great accomplishment for them. But it's also great because they've won a lot of basketball games. And when we arrived, Zion and Jermaine's first year, it was just difficult. We weren't very good, but they bought into it. They stayed, and we've steadily moved the program and continue to move it up and elevate it higher and higher. And, now we have it to a point where we're nationally ranked and we're competing for conference championships, and that's what you want.
Again, big chance to climb that ladder and keep pace in the PSAC West standings here on Saturday when the Vulcans host Slippery Rock at 3 p.m. in the Convocation Center. Coach, thank you for the time today. And again, hope to see everybody out there on Saturday.